I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a bride type right now. Have any of you experienced this? You'll get a phone call, and it's an excited bride, and you want to start talking to her to see if maybe your services will match what she's looking for. So I have a few qualifying questions that I like to find out. And of course, it typically starts with, what's your wedding date? Pretty straightforward question. And sometimes I'll get, well, I think in the spring, but maybe the fall. We're really not sure. We haven't decided. You think, okay, so we'll move on to the next one. How many people are you having? Well, I'm really not sure. We're going to send out 200 invitations, but my mom says most of them won't come, so we're going for 75. Right? Lots of luck with that. And then finally, the big question, have you thought about, what you might be spending on the wedding? And that can be a really tricky question because a lot of times I'll get, well, we really don't know what we want yet. We haven't thought about it, but we'll do something. We'll if we like it, we're going to buy it. Anyone get that? That you really have no idea, but if we're going to go for it, if it's any good. Yeah. Okay. So you decided that, well, maybe she'll be a good bride for you. She seems sweet enough. So you set an appointment. The appointment day comes. You're all set and ready to go. You've got your selling power suit on, your emails all answered. You've got a great hair day going on, so you are ready. And then your bride walks in the door, and here she is. We'll call her Sally. Sally seems just as sweet as she was on the telephone, and you're kind of excited to get things started. So your office door opens, and in walks Sally, and then in comes her mother. Mom is looking a little bit scared. She's wondering, I think, probably in her mind, good Lord, what's this going to cost me? And not much worrying about anything else. But, Mom walks in, you think, no problem. I've dealt with moms for years. I'll charm her. It's good. Then in walks two of her bridesmaids, one of whom got married 6 months ago and knows everything about the wedding industry, especially your job. Yeah. A few of you had that? Yeah. And man, she looks mean. She's ready to take you down. So she's there with notepad in hand, ready to go. And then finally, the groom. And he looks like he'd rather be having a root canal than sitting in your office. So, this is who you have to present to. So you think you've got it all down, and then look at this audience. And regardless of what job you do, whether you're a catering manager, a photographer, a videographer, anything in the wedding industry, you sit there and you go through your usual routine, showing samples, taking questions. But you notice you're really not making any connection with the bride. And the know-it-all bridesmaid is asking you fierce questions and wondering why you're not charging the same prices you charged 3 years ago when her friend used you. And she's wondering why the person down the corner is less expensive but has more features. Firing out all these terribly difficult questions at you. But then in the end, it goes on for an hour, and you're exhausted. And you really haven't connected with the bride. But you thank them for coming, and you're hopeful, and they all leave out the door, Sally and her entourage. And of course you send a follow-up thank you, because that's what a good salesperson does. So you send her off an email, and you hear nothing back. And about a week later, you decide to make a phone call and see how she's doing. Voicemail, you hear nothing back. So you've just about decided that this is going into the lost business file, and all of a sudden your phone rings. It's Sally. It's about 6 weeks later, and you think, I'm surprised she even had my phone number anymore. But Sally says to you, we've been talking about it and thinking about it, and we really love you, and we'd really love to use you for our wedding. And you think, okay, great, this is exciting. Said, let me set up an appointment so we can come in again and review everything and make sure all is good and sign a contract. And as you hang up the phone, you think, yay, I've made a sale. This is fantastic, money. And then you think, good Lord, I've got to deal with this for the next 9 to 12 months of her planning. What can you do? You're always stuck in the middle. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is the bewildered bride. And she's just one of the personality types that we've identified that you're selling and working with. And I have a particular affection for the bewildered bride because for me, she's personally my most difficult client to work with. And I've said over the years, I've either fired or gotten fired by mostly bewildered brides over my career. So she was really someone special that I needed to learn more about. But she's not the only one, because she's got 3 other friends. There are 4 of them. And we're going to learn more about how to sell to them and how to service them throughout the presentation. So what is the Susan Southerland secret? Why is it important, and how can you use it? Those are the things we're going to discuss today, because it's important to me that you leave here knowing different things that you can use for your business right away. That you're going to be able to go home and start changing your selling techniques and changing the way you think about servicing so that you can increase your business and so that you can actually sleep at night and not let the ones that are driving you crazy keep driving you crazy once you get home. Let me talk a little bit in defense of brides, because I do hear a lot of negativity. And I've seen a big shift since I've been in business. You know, once upon a time, I felt like we were really dealing with mothers and we were dealing with refined young ladies. And today's bride tends to have been, let's say, impacted by the media. She knows that she can get what she wants, and some of them feel like if they're really nasty and they really complain a lot, they're going to get exactly what they want. But truthfully, I think that brides today are under so much pressure. They are highly influenced by their friends. The Echo Boomer bride actually takes more influence from their peer group than they do from their actual parents. So they have their friends' expectations and also what their friends are doing for their weddings to worry about when they're going through the planning process. And then they have their parents. What has their mom always envisioned for what the wedding day was going to be like? You know, are there any wedding planners in the room? Have you all experienced when a bride's mom comes in with a bride and you wonder if she's planning her wedding or the bride's? I mean, that's a lot of pressure to deal with, so that makes a huge impact on her. And again, the media. And it's not only, things like Bridezilla, but watching platinum weddings, seeing million-dollar weddings that look absolutely perfect. It makes her feel like mine's going to be inadequate. How am I going to possibly make something that compares with everything that I see? So sometimes we can expect brides to behave less than pleasant, maybe a little bit badly.